The rain hadn't stopped since dawn. In Southbridge, the cracked sidewalks glistened under flickering streetlights, and puddles reflected the weary faces of early risers. Marcus Reed adjusted his worn navy suit and walked faster, his breath clouding in the cold. He was 26, lean, sharp-jawed, and restless, a young black man chasing a chance the world said wasn't for him. This was the biggest morning of his life. An interview at Whitmore and Blake Financial Group, a skyscraper world away from the one he'd grown up in. He passed the bus stop where construction workers eyed him with quiet judgment. They saw the suit and assumed court, not career. Marcus kept walking. He'd learned long ago that silence was his armor. His phone buzzed. A message from his mother. "You got this, baby. Just be you. I love you." He smiled faintly, tucking it away. The city's rhythm changed as he neared the train, a metallic hiss, footsteps echoing through wet tunnels. When he emerged downtown, clouds had gathered again, thick and mean. He checked his watch. 8:22 a.m. The interview was at 9. Still time. Then came the first raindrop. It turned to a downpour within seconds, an angry storm that blurred the skyline and drowned every sound. Commuters scattered beneath awnings and overturned umbrellas. Marcus ducked under a bakery roof, watching the chaos swallow the streets. His heart sank. The weather app had promised light rain. Not this. He opened the rideshare app. No drivers available. Again, nothing. The city was paralyzed. He exhaled sharply and made a decision. He zipped the portfolio under his coat and stepped into the torrent. Water slapped against his shoes, his suit clung to his skin, but he kept running. This wasn't just a job, it was everything. A yellow taxi appeared ahead. Hope surged. He sprinted, waving. The man in a beige trench coat cut in front, jumped inside, and slammed the door. The cab sped off, splashing Marcus head to toe. He froze, fists clenched, rain streaming down his face. He knew this feeling, the quiet injustice of being unseen. But rage wouldn't help. He pushed forward, heart hammering, the glow of the Whitmore Tower flickering through the storm like a mirage. Then he saw it, a black luxury sedan, pulled halfway onto the curb, one tire flat against the soaked pavement. The trunk lay open, a jack tilted sideways, and beside it, an old man wrestled with the wheel, silver-haired, rain-soaked, trembling hands clutching an umbrella that barely held. No one stopped. People passed like ghosts, pretending not to see. Marcus stood still, torn. The tower loomed only blocks away. He was already late. Walking away meant keeping a shot at success. Stopping meant losing it completely. Then his mother's voice echoed in his mind. "You don't help people when it's easy, Marcus. You help because that's who you are." He cursed softly and crossed the street. "Sir, let me help you with that," he called out. The old man looked up, startled. I thought I had it, but the jack keeps slipping," he muttered. Marcus laid his jacket on the wet ground and knelt. "Let's fix that." His hands moved with calm precision, recalling summer spent at his uncle's auto shop. Within minutes, the spare tire was mounted, bolts tightened, jack steady. The man watched in silence, then smiled faintly. "You know what you're doing." "Used to work in a garage," Marcus said, tightening the last bolt. "Uncle never let me drive till I could change a tire blindfolded." The man chuckled. Smart uncle. When they finished, the storm was easing. The old man extended his hand. "What's your name?" "Marcus Reed." "You headed somewhere important, Marcus?" He hesitated. "Yeah, the most important place I've ever gone." Minutes later, the same black car rolled to a stop in front of Whitmore and Blake. Marcus looked up at the gleaming glass facade, his reflection distorted by rain. He was drenched, wrinkled, late. "You sure you want to go in like that?" the man asked gently. "I have to try." The man nodded quietly. "Good luck, son." Marcus stepped out, shoes squelching on marble steps, heart sinking as he entered the pristine lobby. Warm light, polished floors, quiet stairs. He felt every pair of eyes on him, the soaked outsider disturbing perfection. At the security desk, he forced a steady voice. "Marcus Reed, 9 o'clock interview, Finance Division." The guard checked the list, frowned. "You're late, Mr. Reed. 14th floor, but they're strict about time." I understand, Marcus said softly. When he reached the reception upstairs, it was 9:18. The woman behind the desk gave a polite, regretful smile. I'm sorry, Mr. Reed. Mr. Calloway has moved on to the next candidate. Marcus felt his chest tighten. Please, I got caught in the storm. I helped someone. She raised a hand gently. I understand. I really do. But his schedule's full. He swallowed, nodding once. Can you at least tell him I came? She hesitated, then took his damp resume with quiet sympathy. I'll make sure he gets this. He turned and left without another word. The elevator ride down felt endless. In his reflection, he saw a soaked young man who'd done the right thing and still lost. Outside, the storm broke. Sunlight spilled across the wet city as Marcus walked into it, his ruined jacket dripping, his dream dissolving behind glass doors that had already closed. Marcus walked until his legs burned. He didn't know where he was going, only that the rain had stopped and the world felt hollow. He ended up at a diner on 12th and Main, the kind with cracked red booths and the smell of burnt coffee. He sank into a corner seat, still dripping, his resume half ruined in his bag. The waitress, a woman with tired eyes and a kind smile, poured him coffee without asking. Rough morning, she said. He managed to laugh. Something like that. She nodded as if she understood the kind of pain that didn't need explaining. You look like a man who did something right and got punished for it. Her words caught him off guard. He looked up. How'd you know? Because I've been there, she said simply, then walked away. Marcus stared into the coffee until it went cold. Maybe this was a sign to give up, to stop chasing doors that were never meant to open for people like him. He was about to leave when his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Mr. Reed, are you available to come back to Whitmore and Blake this afternoon? Mr. Calloway would like to meet you. His pulse jumped. He reread it twice to make sure. Then he paid the bill and ran out the door, barely remembering the tip. Though the waitress smiled when she saw what he left. His last $20. By the time Marcus returned to Whitmore Tower, the sun had broken through. He stepped into the same marble lobby, now dry, the same guard watching him. But this time, the receptionist was waiting. Mr. Reed, right this way, she said with a knowing smile. She led him to the top floor, executive level. The elevator doors opened into silence, glass walls framing the skyline. At the end of the hall stood a man in a charcoal suit, hands clasped behind his back, looking out the window. When he turned, Marcus froze. It was a man from the street, the one with the flat tire. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then the man smiled. Glad to see you made it. Marcus blinked. You work here? The man chuckled softly. I do more than that. I own the place. He extended his hand. Richard Calloway, CEO of Whitmore and Blake. Marcus's breath caught. The man he'd stopped to help, the one who'd made him late, was the very person who'd been meant to interview him. Calloway gestured to a chair. Sit down, Marcus. Marcus sat, every nerve on edge. Sir, I'm sorry about earlier. I didn't mean to. Apologize. Calloway interrupted. For what? For helping a stranger in the middle of a storm. He leaned forward. Do you know how many people passed by me today? At least a dozen. Expensive coats. Perfect shoes, not one of them stopped. And you, soaked, late for your own future, you did. Marcus looked down. It just felt like the right thing to do. Calloway smiled faintly. And that's exactly the kind of man I want in my company. Marcus looked up, stunned. Sir, you didn't come for an interview, Calloway said. You lived it. He reached for a folder on his desk. Inside was Marcus's resume, still damp at the corners. Your file came to me hours ago. I read it twice. You got potential, intelligence, drive. But what really sold me was character. That can't be taught. Marcus felt his throat tighten. Does that mean? You start Monday, Calloway said simply. Analyst program. And Marcus, he paused, smiling, buy a new suit. For a second, Marcus couldn't speak. Then he stood, extending his hand. Thank you, sir. I won't let you down. I know you won't, Calloway said, shaking it firmly. As Marcus left the office, He caught his reflection in the glass again. But this time, it wasn't a soaked outsider staring back. It was a man who'd earned his place by being exactly who he was. Down in the lobby, the same receptionist grinned. "Looks like it went well." Marcus smiled back, eyes bright. "Better than I ever imagined." He stepped outside into a city reborn by sunlight. Cars rolled by, puddles gleamed like mirrors, and the world smelled clean again. He reached for his phone and called his mother. "Mom," he said, his voice trembling, "I got the job." Her laughter came through the static, warm, proud, tearful. "I told you, baby. You just had to be you." Marcus looked up at the shining tower one last time, then walked toward the street where he'd stopped before, the place where a simple act of kindness had changed his entire life. The storm was gone, but its lesson stayed. Doing the right thing might cost you in the moment, but it never goes unpaid.